Hey everybody, DeLongshot Signatures here. This is episode 103 of my 2024 TTM returns. I have 13 successes to share with you all. My apologies for how long this has taken. I've just been really busy with stuff. I think I've mentioned it before, but my family's moving out of the house. I'm going to be staying here. So we've been trying to get things prepared for when they're gone and helping them get their stuff ready to leave. And then, just some other stuff. My birthday was this past weekend, so celebrated that. And I just really didn't feel like making videos, especially with a bunch of long hours at work and everything. So just kind of held off on doing videos in the time and posting on Instagram, but I will try and get back to that a little bit more regularly. But because it's going to be a while before they move, at least not until the beginning of next year, I'm just going to hold off on giveaway binder videos. I know a lot of people really enjoyed them. I'd like to bring it back at some point, but just right now is not a great time to try and make these videos consistently to give people entries if I'm just not going to be able to do that as frequently as necessary for people to have a fair chance at this stuff. So if you've already won and you've gotten your stuff, awesome. I hope you enjoy it. If you haven't yet, please send me a message. I need to get rid of this stuff and get it out to you guys as soon as possible. Clear up some room up in here. But we'll go ahead and get started on the TTM returns. I have 13 successes, I think is what it is. And then I do have a failure that we're going to start off with. So let me move screens here. So the failure is from a former MLB pitcher. He's on a coaching staff for I think like an independent league team or something like that. And he was signing kind of hit and miss. Wasn't like super consistent, but it looked like it had picked up recently. And got back 2 stamped autographs from Arthur Rhodes. Immediately when I kind of saw the bubbling everywhere, I was like, that looks really odd, especially for how small the signature is. And then looked up other people's on sportcollectors.net, and others were reporting the same thing. Did some side-by-side comparisons, and almost guaranteed that those are stamped. So that really sucks, especially when he was signing authentically for a while. But we'll go ahead and share these successes. First one is from last Monday. It's a 2 of 2 success in 87 days from sprint car driver Danny Lazowski. He is a World of Outlaws legend. Many wins. I don't think he won a championship, but who could? Back in those days with the Kinsers around and everything. But very successful driver. I think he's like top 10 all time in wins and everything. He did race in some other series and won some championships there, but those ones I couldn't really find as much information on. But very successful driver. So a little less than 3 months. Then another one of my return to sender projects came back. I actually got a few of these this episode. Got back 3 of 3 from former NFL safety Lewis Oliver. So I think I got another one of these pro sets signed. Finally got my 92 Upper Deck and 92 Fleer Ultra. That one did, I'm sorry, it's hard to see. That one did come up really light, so that kind of sucks. His marker must not have agreed with the glossy surface. I do try to prep those before I send any of them, but still, it's signed. I'm glad to have it. Another one of those RTS projects is a 2 of 2 plus a note in 10 days from former Purdue quarterback Elijah Sindelar. So I only attended Purdue for 2 years, but the 2 guys that I got to watch be starters were David Blau, who signed for me once he was in the NFL, and Elijah Sindelar. He took over for Blau after his injury and after he went to the NFL. While his career at Purdue probably didn't go the way that he wanted it to, he was still a pretty decent player, and I always wanted to get his autograph after he had left. First time I sent to him, I think it was to probably where he was residing when he was still attending at the campus. But now the address I sent to recently is much further away. So very glad I sent back out. He included this note. I'm incredibly honored to be one of your favorite quarterbacks. I'm more than happy to sign these photos for you. I really appreciate you reaching out for your very kind words and best wishes. I am doing very well and have truly been so blessed. I hope you are doing well, and I pray that the Lord Jesus Christ will bless you in everything you do. Boiler up, Elijah Sindelar, Isaiah 41:10. So very, very cool. Very neat handwriting, too. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that is some incredible handwriting from that guy. So really glad to add him to the Purdue quarterback collection. I've got so many of them. Still want a Drew Brees, definitely. There's a couple other names that I could try to get. I highly doubt I would get them back. But very cool to add him to the collection. Then we got a 3 of 3 success. I believe it was 3 of 3. On 102 days from former NHL right winger and one of the Sutter brothers, Rich Sutter. Him as well with, I think, like 6 or 7 brothers or something, all played in the NHL, and pretty much all of them had like a pretty decent career back in the 80s and 90s. A lot of their kids ended up going on to play hockey. A few of them made it. Not as many of them were as successful, but just a very, very big hockey family. Daryl Sutter, Rich Sutter. There's so many names I can't even remember all of them. But it looks like I already have him in the collection. I'm not sure exactly how I got that, but I finally got these cards added for the set. Then we have a baseball infielder, looks like second baseman, who signed 4 of 4 in 11 days. I do believe he charges $5 per. Jim Gantner. I did get a little worried about the authenticity at first because that's like a really neat signature. I was like, oh no, is this a Pat Swilling thing where his wife signs it for him? But it looks like this is the signature that he has done, just a very just basic cursive, essentially, other than the J. But it looks to be a good autograph from him. So very cool to add those to the various sets that I'm working on. We have another hockey return here. The Rich Sutter was from Canada. This one, I don't remember what country I sent to. Maybe Sweden? But it's 2 of 2 success in 103 days from former NHL center Mikael Anderson. Believe he is a European scout for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I got his Pacific card and then a 91 Pro set. I don't know if people have had success sending to him via the Lightning. Otherwise, I would go that route, especially since the season just started. But I saw that if you sent to his house, you would most likely get a success. So I went that route, and it paid off very well. Then the next 2 successes are connected, and if you follow the NHRA, you'll know why. I'll talk a little bit about it. But first one is a new name for the collection. I had a couple hero cards of this guy, one that I picked up at the races and never saw him walking around or anything. And then another one from a recent eBay order where I got a whole bunch of unsigned hero cards. So I sent both of these out, took a risk, and it came back. This is a 2 of 2 success in 19 days from former pro stock driver Richie Stevens Jr. I believe he had 6 wins in the pro stock category. Drove the famous Mopar pro stock machine. Always loved that car, the way it looked. Anything that was sponsored by Mopar at the time just had a very, very solid look. So the way that connects to this next success, some of you might already know where this is going. I got a 3 of 2 success in 19 days from current pro stock driver and 6-time world champion Erica Enders, who used to be known as Erica Enders Stevens. They were married at one point. So she signed the 2 hero cards that I sent, and then she included one of these as an extra. So I got 2 more from this year, and then I got one of her older hero cards signed. And this one was overall in like much better condition than most of the hero cards I got from that eBay seller. So I was really happy with how that turned out. But they were married for some time, obviously probably met through drag racing and everything like that. but from what I read, and I didn't see this anywhere else, but what I read, he divorced her after a paternity test. So I will let you connect the dots on that. So very unfortunate situation there. But Erica is still racing, still kicking ass. I'm sorry I had to say it like that. She's just been one of the best pro stock drivers. And while she doesn't have as many wins as like some of the legends, she knows how to consistently run well, make the most of the wins, and then still run well when she isn't winning, and contend for a championship every year. So I do believe she is the winningest female in all of motorsports, though, in terms of total wins. So she does have that going for her. I don't see her stepping out of the driver's seat anytime soon. So very, very excited to continue watching her race. Then we have a former NFL quarterback. Yeah, this is still in order. Actually, the rest of these came in today. Former NFL quarterback who is now coaching in the NFL. I believe he's a quarterback coach who signed 3 of 3 for me in 14 days. I did include a $10 check as a donation, but got this back from Mark Brunell via the Detroit Lions. I believe he is their QB coach. Dan Campbell really likes getting him some former players along that sideline. So I've had these cards forever. I've been wanting to get them signed, just kept holding off on it. But then once I pulled this one from the 93 Classic 4 Sport, I was like, I gotta find those other 2 cards and get those all those signed. So I don't know if he requires a donation, but I think he might only just sign 1 if you don't send one. He has no set fee. So like I said, I sent $10 and he was cool enough to sign all 3. I don't think he's super stingy about it, but I do think he's trying to push it a little bit more, that the money is going towards charity. And, you know, the more people are asking him, I think he's going to try and ask more people to at least donate something in return for his time. Then we got a former NHL defenseman who signed 2 of 2, also in 14 days. This is coming from Rod Buskus, who I think played over 500 games in the NHL. So cool to add that for the pro sets. Then we got another one from the RTS project sent to him, and it looked like he had just moved because he stayed in the same area right by Penn State, but just went to a different house. So got 2 of 2 from former lacrosse head coach Glenn F. Thiel, not to be confused, I think, with his dad, Glenn N. Thiel, who is a lacrosse Hall of Famer. He passed away a while ago. But Glenn F. coached, was the very first coach for Virginia's lacrosse program, and won a championship with them, I think, in 1972. And then he was a long time, I think 33 years, the head coach for Penn State. As far as I could find, I don't think he won any championships with them, but I will be double checking that just to confirm. His win record there wasn't as good as it was at Virginia, but to be there for that long says something about the program that he ran. As far as I could tell, they only made the NCAA tournament twice, but the lacrosse Wikipedia pages aren't as thorough as some of the other sports. But very cool. Glad I added him to the collection. Then we have an NWSL return. She included an extra card and then a nice little note. This is a 3 of 2 success in 145 days from Washington Spirits, Gabriel Carl. Signed there in the top right. She plays for Canada's national team. I want to say she's a defender. She might be a midfielder. Doesn't score very much, but does pretty well defensively. She also included this Parkside card, which is really neat. I think it shows off like their defender, their position and their national team. And then she included a little post-it note saying, "Thank you for your letter and support. Hope to see you at Audi Field this season. Probably not this season. I'm not going to be going to Washington, D.C. anytime soon. But very cool to get that back from a current player. And last one we have is an NHRA return on some hero cards. I sent 3, got back 5, and these are coming back in 25 days from Cruz Petrigon. So I was able to get him at his open house. I think there was at least 2 other signings that I went to, maybe 1, and then I got him once at his pit. And then now, after buying some stuff off of eBay, I had old hero cards like this, so I sent that off to get signed. This one did have some thumbtacks in it, but not as bad as some of the other ones. And the old vintage McDonald's funny car is just really cool to have one of those and get that signed. And then I sent one of his current hero cards, and then he sent me another one. And he also included, I don't think I've ever gotten any of these, his socket to breast cancer. So every October now, this is how the team wraps the car. Very cool of them to continue to raise awareness about breast cancer and help raise money and everything. I think I'd seen his video where they had wrapped the car, and so I didn't know they made a hero card for it, but I got one of those, and it is signed in silver by Cruz. So very, very decent week of returns. While it felt a little slow at the start of the week, it really picked up. Just sent out another big batch of photos. Still got a whole bunch of stuff out there that I sent out within the past month. So hopefully things will continue to fly in. Already getting started on getting another set of photos sent out to get signed. Like I said, I'm going to try and be a little bit more consistent with the videos and postings. Just won't be able to keep up with the giveaway binder for right now. Maybe next year I'll do it again and try and do a little bit better. But that is it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Best of luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.